All right, folks, hello, we're back again. We don't want to take away from your time to be able to speak with our guest. We've got them in the studio now, and so we want to come back from the commercial break and just get right to it. And in with us at this moment is our guest, and that is Councilwoman Dani Cronce, and we're happy to have her here with us. And you're live, and the mic's on now.
Hello.
Hello. And so you are a councilwoman for the 3rd District of Binghamton, New York.
Mm-hmm.
You got elected, what was it, 3.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And so for our audience, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I got into politics by being involved with the disability support group that I started. My son has autism. So quite literally, I mean, I was not in politics to better myself, but to better others. And I still bring that into politics of what can I do to help people have a better life.
Well, that's a perfect reason for being involved in politics. And for people who don't know, we've had you on the program before. We've spoken to you a few times talking about a lot of issues in the community. You're involved in a bunch of nonprofits working on different, sorry, lost the word for a second. A lot of different nonprofits. I know there's the Adopt a Park, which, to full disclosure, I am also a board member of, which for a couple of years brought movies into parks throughout the county for free to allow families to be able to enjoy Disney movies and with their kids, and it cost them nothing. Is that right? That was one of the projects. And so this is something that you've been working on a few of these things together, right?
Yeah. Adopt a Park started with getting volunteers in the park. We then later turned it into movies in the parks, which provided free movies on Friday nights for families. I think that's a really good way to give back to the community. All of this was sponsored to make it completely free. We also are looking into working on vacant lots that are in low-income neighborhoods, lots that we can fix up and turn into playground areas for children. A lot of the low-income neighborhoods, they're not within walking distance of a park, so we want to give the kids a place to play and the safety of having it in their own neighborhood.
Now, I bring up these things because it's kind of interesting, because there's been, over various years, there's been a lot of people who've picked about this. In particular, there was the former councilwoman of the 3rd District, Terry Renia. She, there's an article where she, back in, I think it was 2017, famously said that you had backed off democratic progressive ideals. In fact, I'm quoting from an article from the WBNG, New York. Renia, Binghamton councilwoman, former Binghamton councilwoman, excuse me, let me read it exactly as it says it in the article. Renia, Binghamton councilwoman Cronce betrays fellow Democrats. This is from June 7th of 2017. And in that article, Renia says that you had backed off progressive ideals. And that's a very common claim that's been put against you, that you're not progressive, that you're not living up to progressive ideals. How has that affected you? Is that an accurate statement?
Well, in the fact that I don't sell out my own morals and standards for any party, then I guess that's okay. I'm not here to win friends. I'm here to take care of my community. That's what I've been elected to do. And I'm doing it the best way I can.
Okay. And so I want to understand, because when you're talking about like movies in the parks, you've stood up for several bills to help low-income housing. You were critical, and you recently, and there's been pictures on Facebook where you were critical in getting the 47 North Street redeveloped to help in getting Crandall Street, which was a major development of modified low-income housing for families, single mothers, and low-income families to be able to have quality housing. These are projects in your district that didn't happen under Terry Rennie, that didn't happen under others, that you've helped to put in.
Yes, they wouldn't have been pushed because they live in mansions. I'm in the North of Maine area. I live in the North of Maine area. I am a single mother of a disabled child. I am low income. You know, I know what the struggle is like because I live it. That's why it's important to make sure people have housing. It's a very big issue for me. I raised my kids in substandard housing. I don't want anyone to ever have to go through that.
See, and now most people would think, well, that means that while it may not be progressive, these are positive things for your community, that you're working hard for the community.
Yeah. Well,
wouldn't anyone be happy about that, you would think?
No, progressives do not want people rising above. They want to keep people pigeonholed. They want to keep people down. They want to keep people chronically dependent on them. I don't want that. I'm trying to change lives and better people because I want people to get off the system. We have a flooded system right now for social services. We need to get people off. It's going to take time. We need to slowly get them off and then find alternate ways to help people.
Okay. So let me ask you this. And I bring up the past because to put it in context, we want to make sure that there's a good context for people when they're looking at it. These are the things you have done. These are unarguably things that benefit your constituents.
Mm-hmm.
The district is a lower income district. So these are demonstrably correct. These are facts. They're indisputable. And yet you're getting accused of not being a progressive while you were with the Democratic Party. So that led you, or somehow that led to the announcement yesterday that you've joined the Libertarian Party. Walk us through that. How did that happen?
I just don't want to be in a party like the Democratic Party where if you disagree with them, they ostracize you, they make you a monster. You have no choice but to fall in line. Otherwise, you can't be part of the Democratic Party. That's not individualism. That's not anything to do with being an American citizen. I thought we all had freedom of choice. Democrats are taking away our freedom of choice. So the Libertarians, I looked into the Libertarian Party. It is all about choice. It's all about our liberties. And I feel like that's where I want to be fighting for, is for our right to have our own choice, to not have the government controlling us, and to be able to find our own happiness and our own joy, and to pursue what we want to in our own hopes and dreams.
Okay. So I wanted to ask this, and I know you had spoken on another program, which I criticized earlier in my program today, for different reasons. But let me address, so far, since you've made your announcement, you've come out publicly, has there been any feedback from the public? And how has that feedback been?
Yes, I've had a lot of positive feedback. I've had a lot of people welcoming me to the Libertarian Party. I have a lot of people who are excited to start some new things and get Broome County up and going. I've had a few, like 3 people who've given me a hard time, but I'm not anything I haven't had. I have a whole incredible long list of Democrats that harass me and hate groups that harass me, so I think it's okay. I'm not going to have any hard time sleeping tonight if I'm not making everyone happy.
Well, it's politics. There's always someone who's upset. Although having progressives upset with you is entirely different, I think,
that's
than
like
libertarians.
Death threats. I've had, a lot of issues with the Democratic Party, with the liberals. I've been harassed and chased out of my own home.
Well, let me ask you this, because a lot of people aren't familiar with libertarians, and I know we've had on the program Larry Sharp, Andrew Hollister, who, when they were running for governor under the Libertarian Party. We do Sean Szymanski and a few others. We do give voices to them, and we always will give voices to anyone who is looking for political office or doing things in the community, and give them a chance to speak. How do libertarians, because since Terry Rennie, since a lot of the far left, Conrad Taylor, Dan Livingston, these are members of the fringe left, the Citizen Action, the progressive leaders of tomorrow, the Antifa, the Black Lives Matters, that fringe movement, how do libertarians look at some of those issues like, say, social justice or apologizing for race? I mean, Conrad Taylor apologized for being white to me on this program 4 years ago. How do libertarians look at that?
Well, that's nonsense. It's complete and utter nonsense. There's no reason for that. I guess, you know, we just see it as something like we're all here to help each other. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, it's like I have no right infringing on you for who you are, just like you have no right to infringe on me.
Well, that's a pretty open way, and I've heard that from, you know, Larry Sharp. I've heard that from actually every libertarian I've spoken to about this, and they all come consistently. That's one of the things very consistent in the Libertarian Party. Mm-hmm. You're you, and
yeah.
I think that's what you said actually yesterday on WNBF is you do you, and I'll do me, and
exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah, and you know, it's like we're all, like I say, America has a unique outlook, and I think we need to remember that. You know, when we formed the Constitution, it's a lot of people living together, fighting for a better tomorrow for our children and our grandchildren. You know, in my own family, I have a son-in-law who's black and Muslim. He also was in the army. So I see like how like a lot of people are trying to use like different things, but then you see one person who fits three different parts. Let's stop using these as like our little X's that we can mark into groups, because we're not X's that we can mark into groups. We're all individuals and we're all people.
Well, that's why I always like one of my big complaints is the micro-categorization, I like to call it, micro-categorization of individuals that you fit this box and that's all you are. So, you know, Kamala Harris is just a black woman or a black straight woman. Cory Booker is just a black straight man. Pete Buttigieg is just a white gay man. That's it. And I disagree when you label someone in such a narrow way. That doesn't give you who they really are, whether they're good or bad. And that's what Democrats have done.
Yes.
Let me ask, and this wasn't asked on WNBF, amongst other things, some of the things we're talking about now, but let's ask, what has been the response from the other members of City Council, of which Conrad Taylor and Dan Livingston are Democrats, representing the far left, and is this having an impact, or do you expect it's going to have an impact on the way you can do legislation and serve your constituents?
I don't think it's going to change the way I do legislation, because I'm going to do it the same way I've always done it, which is put my constituents first. That's definitely not a democratic way, because the democratic way is run everybody under the bus and get what you can from them. I haven't heard anything from the Democrats. Gio has reached out, Gio Scaringi, and he is also part of the Libertarian Party as well. So it is nice. We'll be discussing different things that we can do within Broome County. I do plan on having some public meetings for libertarians to come and just meet and discuss and set some agendas and goals for what do we want to have here, what do we want locally, what do we want done in the state, what do we want done nationally.
Well, that's actually one of the things I wanted to ask about is the Libertarian Party became an official party of New York State after the 2018 election. They took over, they got third place, they really amazed a lot of people, and now they're official. So that means they're now building their infrastructure. And I've talked to Larry Sharp about this when he was over at the Liberty Weekend over at SUNY Broome, and he was speaking before us. So you're looking to, is there a Broome County Libertarian Party at this moment?
No, but I will be working to form one. So if you're interested, let me know.
Okay. And how would people who are interested, and I know there are people who are Republicans who've moved away from the Republican Party. I know there are people who are, and you've criticized Republicans from time to time, as well as Democrats. So I don't want people to think it's only been bashed the Democrats. You know, you've picked on Republicans very vocally from time to time, and even yesterday on WNBF. So, but for people who are disaffected, say in the Libertarian Republican Party, who are disaffected in the Democratic Party, who don't want to be part of the social justice, apologize for what color you were born in, or independents, how would they find out more?
Look up Dani Cronce on Facebook. Send me a message. You can call me on I'll give you my cell phone, 607-201-7887. Send me a text. If you're interested, if you want to join, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Is there an event that's coming up? Do you plan to have any events?
Yes, I'm planning on having one at the Belmar Pub and Grill. It's right in my district.
Which we talk about. Yeah. Our friends at the Belmar. Okay.
Yeah, so they have a nice patio. If it rains, there's also a back room we could run into. Definitely we'll be setting one up by next month.
Okay, so the date isn't set yet.
Yeah, I'm getting some emails back from some of the local libertarians. And like I say, if you want to PM me and let me know what dates you have, that's awesome.
Okay, so we're definitely finding out more about that, and people are going to be more informed. We, of course, will be happy to put that information out for the public, let you know exactly what's going on as it happens once we have those details. Is there legislation that you have upcoming that... Well, you said there's no change in the way you're doing things.
Yeah.
It's just a change in the party.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. What are some of the things that you are working on that people can look forward to in terms of legislation?
Legislative pieces. Well, I worked with, in my own district, trying to get some safety lights for North Street, working on the crime watch to make sure we have a safer neighborhood. I did get some... patrol officers for the weekends, which is good because we have a high crime rate in my neighborhood. So making sure that we have our families safe so that they could be outside and that we have nice quiet nights with no shootings would be beautiful. Something that I've personally looked into because like I say, I mean, I live in the neighborhood. So it's my neighborhood. It's not just someone's neighborhood. It's my neighborhood. So
there's a crime watch for, you're in, again, the 3rd District of Binghamton, and you're putting together a crime watch. I would ask, this is an election year. Mm-hmm. You're not up for election.
No.
Okay. And the reason for that, you said publicly, was you're working on your college degree and some of the nonprofits.
Yes.
You've said that before publicly, so I do want to make sure people know that. Just want to ask, because I know you have a crime watch, and you're discussing the crime watch is bringing in police to help the community to fight crime and to help people feel safe in their homes. Have you gotten any support on that from the Democrats?
No. I believe they're actually anti-police officers, so I'd probably get hate messages from them.
Actually, Angela Riley is based on... she scrubbed some of her Facebook pages, but we still have information here about her from her prior home before she moved here in Chicago, where she was very anti-police. So I just wanted to, but I wanted to give a shout out, give the question there, not presume that she was against the police, but find out if she actually tried to help make her community safer. Just wondering. You didn't run for office. You're now a libertarian. Libertarians are on the rise in the state. That is a fact. Does that mean that you have future goals? Maybe something else down the line, down the road that you're looking at?
Yes. I'm looking at mayor. So I want to run for mayor.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's something that after being on city council and seeing how we can sometimes work together, and then seeing how the Democrats are building up and just trying to stop progress. I just feel like it's something that I want to do, is to make sure that we can keep progress going.
Okay. Sorry, that was a bell on my ear. It sounds like we're constantly checking for any comments, notes, anything that people are saying to us about speaking with you. And I'm just double checking. No, it's about 1,000 other things. We cover a lot of ground in this, so we get people who yell at us about all kinds of issues all the time. So we're just trying to make sure we're up to date with everyone. And I know we've got about 3 minutes left, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about why you changed parties. Mm-hmm. We've talked about some of the things that, how you're going forward, how there is no change in what you're looking to do for people. We're talking a little bit about the future, both for the Libertarian Party in Broome County, as well as looking at the future. What have I missed?
One question that I hear from the Libertarians is, why are you Libertarian if you have nonprofits? So if I can shortly get that done, I'll try. So as I started working in nonprofits, getting into grant writing and seeing how DSS and all the infrastructure works, I've realized that, like I said before, it's all just a way to suppress people, to keep them financially and socially oppressed. It's broken. It's beyond broken, and the Democrats have been working on this for the last several decades, trying to figure out ways to keep people pushed down so that they can control them. And if you want to know how they can control them, if you can control a person's finances and make them worried about where they're going to get their next paycheck from, then you pretty much own them. And they see that. And their power is in the vote. I want to get that away from them. I want to give people the chance to really pursue what they want to and give them a hand up and not a handout. Like I say, the DSS is broken. I am all for fixing it. I've been trying to fix it. Every time I go, it's you got to go to the state level. Well, I will take it to the state level, and I'll take it to the national level, because this needs to be stopped. I really think that we need to build up our churches, build up organizations that are legitimately helping and not trying to politicize on everything. I've noticed that our local churches and organizations have to be political, because the hands of the politicians are the ones who are controlling where the money goes. Let's take that away. If I don't have a nonprofit, that's fine. I'll find other ways to do it. Maybe there's some alternative ways we can work on with our own nonprofits, since we have 2 of them. I'm all for it. So.
No, those are important things, and that's. Yeah. I'm glad, and thank you for sharing this with us. By the way, intern John, the intern, have I missed anything in the comments? Anything that we haven't addressed?
Nope.
Okay. I want to say again in the final moments here, for people to contact you if they're interested in the Libertarian Party in Broome County, if they're interested in finding out some of the things you're working on, you're on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I'm
on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Well, what's it on? Facebook is under your name.
Yeah, it's all under my name.
Oh, they're all Dani Cronce? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
makes life easy for me.
Oh, okay. And Dani is Dani Cronce, Cronce. And so these are ways that they can contact you. We are always happy to have you on the program. We always look forward to speaking with you more, and you're always welcome to come back and tell us what's going on. And we always love to hear from libertarians. And now we'll have someone local besides Rich Pertel, who's out in Tioga County, but and also Larry Sharp when he's in town. So we'll have you to go to, and we'll be following, because we do follow everybody. That's the great thing about the show. We follow everybody. But I want to thank everyone for being here with us. I want to thank our guest, Dani Cronce, Councilwoman of Binghamton, New York, and the city of Binghamton, New York, for the 3rd District. We look forward to speaking with her again. We look forward to speaking to libertarians. And we're going to be back on Saturday at 12 noon until 2, looking to speak with you and hearing your feedback. We're looking for your comments, so do let us know what you think. And we'll talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.